Hi guys, so this video is going to go over different cells that I myself, as a student who took hematology, came across during lab. What I'm going to do is just show the slides and then I'll just tell you the names so that way it's easier for you to recognize or study or review for lab practicals. So the first one, or for like learning or remembering for identification. So for the first one we have is a hemocytoblast, and it's the cell right here, and that's what it looks like. And then the next one we have is a myeloblast, and this is what a myeloblast will look like if we need to identify it. And then what we have here is a neutrophil. And if we go, the difference between these two is, if you look at the myeloblast, it's granulated, and a neutrophil is as well, but it looks a little bit different. This is a neutrophil myelocyte, and then I'll show you another one of the same thing, neutrophil myelocyte. During lab, we usually just called it a myelocyte. We didn't put neutrophil in front of it. This is a metamyelocyte. The one we looked before was a myelocyte, which is a step before the metamyelocyte in our blood. And then the next one, what we have is a band, or a neutrophil band. And this is pretty easy to remember because it looks like a band. And then the next one we have is like the neutrophil band, but this one we call segmented, neutrophil segmented, because it's separated. If we go to the one before, an easy way to remember this is a band, and it's a neutrophil band, and then this is, since it's segmented, is neutrophil segmented. And here are more examples of segmented neutrophils. And here we have a segmented neutrophil, a neutrophil band, and then a myelocyte and a metamyelocyte. So we have all four of these in one. As a hematology former student, during lab we also came across this thing is called an eosinophil. And the next one we have is an eosinophil myelocyte. And in this picture we also have banded neutrophil right here. These will go into a little bit. I'll explain those later, but we'll see those too. But for now, eosinophil myelocyte. And then we have an eosinophil metamyelocyte, and once again a banded neutrophil. So this is a neutrophil band neutrophil. This is eosinophil. So neutrophil, eosinophil, metamyelocyte. This one is an eosinophil myelocyte. We also have an eosinophil band. We didn't go over this in lab, but it's pretty much the same idea as a neutrophil band, except for the band is in an eosinophil cell instead of a neutrophil cell. But it's easy to recognize because the cell is granulated, like an eosinophil would be granulated, and it's a band, so an eosinophil band. I'm going to quickly just go back to the neutrophil band, which we covered earlier. So this is a neutrophil, and this is the band inside of it. This is an eosinophil. It's the band inside of an eosinophil. Just like the neutrophils, how there's bands and they're segmented. Same thing with the eosinophils. They have banded eosinophils, and then this is segmented eosinophil. And here's another example of a segmented eosinophil. And so for this, we have a neutrophil, and then an eosinophil, and they're both segmented. So the neutrophil we went over earlier, and then that's what a neutrophil will look like if you look at slides. And an eosinophil will look like this if we look at slides, and they're both segmented. And here's just another picture of segmented and segmented. Well, this kind of looks like a band, but this one is segmented for sure, eosinophil, and then this is a neutrophil. The next one is called a basophil myelocyte. This is actually pretty common. We will run across this. Like if you ever take a hematology lab, this is actually, you will run into this. It's one of the more common ones, just like the eosinophils and the neutrophils. So we have neutrophil, eosinophil, and now we have a basophil. So this is a basophil myelocyte, and this is a segmented basophil. Depending on your teacher, some teachers or some professors may want to know the difference between segmented and not. So this is segmented, but if you see this, most professors are okay if you just say that it's a basophil, if you recognize that's a basophil, just like that's a basophil. But this is more detailed. If you ever run across this, then say it's segmented. But what you'll usually see is just a basophil, because it can get really confusing to tell the difference between segmented neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Usually professionals are able to know that. It's hard to learn it in one course as a student, but you can always refer to this video if you need clarification on anything. So I'm going to continue with the rest of the slides. So what we have next is a lymphoblast. And if you ever come across cells that look like these are known as lymphoblasts. And then this is a prolymphocyte. So this is a lymphoblast. And then the next step would be a prolymphocyte, which is right here. And then we have a lymphocyte, and this is what we usually will see when we look at slides. We'll usually see it in this form. And next we have is a monoblast. This is what a monoblast will look like. And then a promonocyte. And a monocyte right here. So this one, what I just wanted to show you, there's no cells there, is just when you see other cells around the main cell, these aren't cells, these are platelets, which are found in blood, and there's different kinds of platelets. But if you see things like these, then they're known as platelets. So you can either, sometimes what a professor would do or a lab instructor is they'll have you count the platelets. So if you're wondering what platelets look like, these are the platelets, and they come in all shapes and forms. And if you refer to my other video, I have different types of platelets, such as teardrop, and there's other ones as well. Sometimes the platelets are big and sometimes the platelets are small. For this slide, they're small. Let's see if we can count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 maybe. I remember I had to count platelets and also know the different names of these cells. The teacher will probably go over or give you a list to refer from. But we have teardrop cells, target cells, all kinds, our rods, howl jollies. Yeah, I'll make another video of the different cells, but we have, depending on your instructor, there's different cells that we go over. So these are reticulocytes, and then here's another slide of reticulocytes as well. right here. Like our class, we didn't really go too much into this, but we did touch up on it a little bit. And then lastly, we have erythrocytes. And then this is how they look like. They don't really have any, if you notice some of the cells, it's like white in the center. And anyways, there's all different kinds of cells. For another video, we'll go over that. Okay, yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys next video.